Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl Advi. I'm back again with another bang, with another video. I know I haven't been there's a mosquito guys that it is disturbing me. I know I haven't been consistent with my videos, but then I'm just gonna try and be as consistent as I can. I experienced a problem with my memory card. My phone memory card, it just stopped working. I don't know what happened. It's like my phone just stopped reading it. It couldn't read it anymore. I don't know what was the problem, but then anyhow, that's another excuse because I actually managed to get another one today. I just got back from the complex right now. I'm back from the complex and I managed to buy another one. I managed to get a 32 gig, and luckily it costed less than I was expecting because it just costed me $100. So I think it was affordable than I thought. Okay, in today's video I want us to talk about like why 2020 has been such, should I say, a bad year or the worst year to be in university. The first reason why 2020 was such a worst year to be in university is because this whole COVID-19 thing has actually affected a lot of things than it may appear. It has affected a lot of things than you can think because it has just made things more tough. And if you can still remember, the COVID-19 lockdown started somewhere around March, and then we only got back to Evan. English Arawa. We only got back on campus. I got back on, I think it was 28th August. I got back on the 28th of August, which means March, April, May, June, July, August, and end of August, mind you. So this means we spend 6 months actually at home, and that 6 months is almost a whole semester. Imagine. So we only attended February, then mid-March we went home. We have missed so much of our time, that under normal circumstances we could have utilized for contact sessions and lectures and classes and everything. So for me, it wasn't such a good year to be in university because when we came back, we had like this time, the quarantine time, I think it was 3 weeks or so, whereby we were just in our rooms not doing anything, which adds another month on top of the 6 months, which makes it 7 months. This means like for the whole year we had like 7 months not doing anything. And okay, fine, honestly everybody did really try. They tried using the online classes, but then they were just not as conducive and as productive or effective, if I can say, because a lot of people had connectivity issues. But then if you could connect, if you were lucky enough to connect, the problem was that we left our books here. Our books were on the residence, and like nobody was allowed to enter the residence during that time, lockdown until August. So this means a whole student who is studying has almost like 6 months not being in contact with their books. So the online classes were not productive for me personally because I have left like everything, my notebook and my textbooks here at school. And the reason why I left them is because when we went home, it was actually our week recess. We had a week recess. So I was like, this thing of lockdown was not implemented then when we went home. So now I thought, since we are just going home for recess for only a week, I might as well take this week, go home and relax. I was like, girl doesn't want to see any books, girl doesn't want to see anything academic. I just want to go home and relax, and rest, just take a break. But then the break became a long break, the longest break I've ever had for my books ever since I was a learner. So yeah, having the books here on campus, and the girl couldn't study, the girl couldn't do anything, but then the least I could do was to attend those online classes, which I did attend, but they weren't as effective. So yeah, we came back on August, and then we didn't attend That's when we started attending more seriously online, because a lot of people now had access to Wi-Fi, and that was when everybody was getting their laptops, and we had like the data bundles from, I don't know, should I say NSFAS or what? I don't know, Department of Higher Education. So that was when the online classes were much better, because we had access to our books, and then we had quality network connection. We had our phones, we had our laptops, so it was much better. Then there came a time where we had to finish writing our test and then assignments, and then we had to write tests like this week, and then the following week we wrote our exams, which was something else. It was tiring, it was draining, because you can imagine having to you don't even rest from your test, and then you jump into the exams without having, a study week or anything. But then somehow it did benefit me personally a little bit, because it was much easier. It was much easier to study, since I have been studying for the test. So a lot of things that I came across while I was studying, they were still in my memory. I was able to recognize a lot of things when I was studying for the exam. And mind you, the examination, they didn't do anything that is called curriculum trimming or whatever when they set the question paper, because we wrote with the same question paper that was set, I don't know, somewhere in March, somewhere in February, somewhere even in January. We had to use those question papers, the question papers that were already set for us. And those question papers they were not compromised to say, since there was a COVID, let's do this, let's exclude this, blah blah. We used those question papers, and it was so challenging. Like 2020 hasn't been such an easy year, and right now another thing which makes 2020 such a bad year for being in university is that is the transformation, the right way though, is the transition from having been used to contact sessions whereby the lecturer comes and then facilitates or teach you whatever, introduce whatever the topic, and you get an opportunity to ask questions and interact with other students, ask where you don't understand and everything. That opportunity, I think it has been taken away from us, not by anybody, but then because by COVID-19. um okay, I was still talking about the transition from contact lessons to the online learning system. For me, I don't think it's an easy one, because as, as for this other modules that are theory based, I think it's doable, because anyway, like a lot of things you just had to study on your own. But then as for accounting, remember, I'm majoring in economics and accounting. It's somehow, because this online classes, we don't get to see, we really don't get to see the lecturer or anything. At least today, the one that I attended, we were able to see the slides on the screen. But then usually you just hear the voice of the lecturer teaching, and then you can't even, like, you can't even see what the lecturer is talking about. Then, and it's just so difficult, I think, for us as the students and as well as the lecturers, because it's just something new. It's just I it's just so it is just so difficult to adapt to this whole online thing. Okay, the lecturer teaches, and then you can't even see anything. The only thing that you can see are the text there that are sent by the learners asking questions or saying yes or no to a question asked by the lecturer. But then the lecturer uses a microphone, uses audio, the only thing that is enabled. But then there's an option for video, but then I don't know why our lecturers keep using the voice thing, and it is just not effective. It's more like somebody teaching you a new thing. I'm not talking about explaining or emphasizing something that you have heard before, or something that you have came across before, something that is new to you, something that is being introduced to you. For example, let me take the leases for example, because right now in accounting we are doing the leases. it is just so difficult because you have to create your own picture of what the person is saying, or of what the person is actually trying to communicate to you. Yeah. So it's difficult because we were never used to this thing of distance learning, online learning, and everything. So that's why I'm not saying the difficult part is the online learning, but then it is the transition. That moment where you have to switch, you have to adapt, and very quickly, because there's no time. There is no time. The sooner we accept and learn to adapt to this online thing, the better. But then it is not easy. I know that I'm not the only one who's experiencing this. But then for everybody out there who's experiencing like the difficulty in the transition, I just want to tell you that this is more like gonna be a way of teaching for a very long time. So I think the sooner you adapt to it, the better. You better adapt to it before it's way too late. So the last reason why I think 2020 was such a bad year for being in university is because usually by this time we are busy with our exams, final exams. If you are doing your final year, usually by this time you would have been writing your final exam papers, your last, if I can say, your last paper for the year, your last paper that's gonna, the last paper. But then it's just unfortunate because the last time I checked, I think the academic year is being extended until next year, February. So it's such a tough thing for our final year students, myself included, because most of the internships that are to start January next year are being advertised right now, and then we can't even apply for those things because we don't even have results for, not even for first semester. We don't even have our results for the second semester. We don't have our academic records. Everything is just fucked up in jail. Everything is just fucked up, and I'm not sure if companies and schools or whatever the places of employment, learnerships and internships do consider that we are still schooling, because some of the universities, as I'm speaking right now, they are busy with their exams. So it's just fewer universities, University of Limpopo included, who are not writing their exams right now. Yeah, I don't know. Wopilo, 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 Kesamente, guys. Wopilo, Kesamente, but then we just have to toughen up. It's a pity that we just had to experience this, and I'm gonna have to end this video because it's becoming so long. I'm gonna have to end this video, and thank you so much for tuning in, and please comment with what 2020 has ruined for you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and please do comment about what 2020 has ruined for you, what the COVID-19 lockdown and its effect has actually ruined for you. Until we meet again, guys, I love you.